Hey guys, it's Owen from Wrestling Inc. back with another wrestling news roundup. Without any further ado, let's get into today's biggest stories in the world of professional wrestling. WWE reportedly planning on smoke and mirrors for Vince McMahon match at WrestleMania 38. As noted, Vince McMahon vs. Pat McAfee is reportedly listed in the internal schedule for WrestleMania 38. In an update, Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer reports that although the 76-year-old WWE chairman will be advertised for a match at the Showcase of Immortals, he is not expected to take any bumps in what will be, quote, a complete smoke and mirrors event. Meltzer noted that the match was, quote, confirmed to be on the books for the WrestleMania lineup as of Sunday evening. The seeds for the match will reportedly be planted when McMahon appears on the Pat McAfee show this Thursday. The news of McMahon starting a storyline with McAfee was first reported by John Pollock of Post Wrestling last Friday. Vince McMahon's last match was at WrestleMania 26, where he lost to WWE Hall of Famer Bret Hart. He also had an on-screen confrontation with CM Punk on Raw in 2012. Backstage news on The Undertaker being solo inductee into WWE Hall of Fame. The Undertaker would not be a solo inductee in this year's WWE Hall of Fame class, according to WrestleVotes. The WrestleVotes Twitter handle reported Sunday that although the idea of the dead man going solo into the Hall of Fame was considered by WWE officials, additional names will be announced soon, potentially starting Monday. WWE Hall of Famer Bully Ray had floated the idea initially of this year's WWE Hall of Fame class being built entirely around The Undertaker. Quote, this year's entire Hall of Fame induction should be about The Undertaker, Bully said on Busted Open Radio last week. I think several people should come up and help induct him. I think they can make it a very entertaining show. Taker can talk forever. I think it sells out the American Airlines Arena on its own. Another WWE Hall of Famer, Booker T, however, felt that Undertaker would not be comfortable narrating stories from his wrestling career through a 2-hour broadcast. Quote, can The Undertaker come up and entertain for 2 hours, get the TV out of it and whatnot? I don't think The Undertaker would actually want to do something like that, come up and tell stories all night, Booker said on his Hall of Fame podcast. The one thing about the Hall of Fame ceremony has always been, when these guys finally get that moment, damn it, they go up there and they don't want to leave. They want to stay up there all night. They want to talk about stories. And I'm like, good God, bro, we are ready to go to sleep here. I'm sure The Undertaker is going to want to come out, say what he has to say, and he's going to want to get the hell out of there. I think we're going to need more people to actually have a show other than just The Undertaker. As of this recording, WWE has yet to announce more inductees into the 2022 WWE Hall of Fame class. This year's ceremony will take place on Friday, April 1st at American Airlines Center in Dallas as part of WrestleMania week. Another top title match added to WWE WrestleMania 38 Night 1. Both of WWE's top women's championships will be defended on Night 1 of WrestleMania 38. The Dallas Morning News reported Monday that WWE confirmed Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch will defend her title against Bianca Belair on Saturday, April 2nd. WWE previously announced Charlotte Flair will defend her SmackDown Women's Championship against Royal Rumble winner Ronda Rousey on Night 1 of WrestleMania. WWE has not committed to that match as the match that will close that night's card. Belair was in Night 1 main event of WrestleMania last year. She defeated Sasha Banks to win the SmackDown Women's Championship. Belair won the Women's Elimination Chamber match at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view earlier this month to secure the title match against Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 38. Lynch ended Belair's 131-day reign as SmackDown Women's Champion at SummerSlam 2021. Lynch made a surprise return from maternity leave and won the title from Belair in a matter of seconds. Quote, it's nothing like you've ever felt before, so to be in the ring and feel all of that was amazing, but at the same time I was the SmackDown Women's Champion and I knew she was coming for my title, Belair said when reflecting on her SummerSlam loss last August. It was bittersweet and I can't help but to be a little sad about the situation and just ready to get back in there and get my rematch because I deserve a rematch. Lynch is the current Raw Women's Champion as a result of the bout exchange with Flair last October. followed the WWE draft, where Lynch was drafted to Raw as the SmackDown Women's Champion and Flair was drafted to SmackDown as the Raw Women's Champion. The bout exchange was set up to realign the titles with their respective brands. The third match already announced for WrestleMania 38 is Universal Champion Roman Reigns versus WWE Champion Brock Lesnar in a winner-take-all unification match. That match will be the main event of Night 2 of WrestleMania on Sunday, April 3rd. Elias reportedly in creative purgatory in WWE. A new report surrounding WWE superstar Elias has emerged, and in it, Ringside News reports that he is still without any creative direction in the company. It was described as, quote, creative purgatory for Elias, where a member of the WWE creative team, quote, doesn't remember the last time his name came up. It's been so long, end quote. Elias has not wrestled since his Symphony of Destruction match loss to Jackson Riker on the July 19, 2021 edition of Monday Night Raw. Multiple vignettes for the rebranding of the former WWE 24/7 champion began airing the following August, but they eventually ceased. It was later reported that WWE had no end plan for the vignettes and that WWE just filmed them to kill off Elias's musician gimmick. We previously noted that Elias had a rebranding scheduled, but the new look was reportedly similar to WWE Hall of Famer Macho Man Randy Savage with colorful trunks and a beard. WWE Chairman and CEO Vince McMahon and officials close to him reportedly did not like those changes, and plans for the rebranding were nixed. AEW Revolution match reportedly saw last-minute booking change. AEW's Revolution pay-per-view is 1 week away, and with it a stacked card with matches like MJF vs CM Punk in a dog collar match, Britt Baker vs Thunder Rosa for the AEW Women's title, and Jon Moxley vs Bryan Danielson. One of the matches on the card that was announced this past week, a Tornado Trios match, will see Matt Hardy, Andrade El Idolo, and Isaiah Cassidy team up against Sting, Darby Allin, and TNT champion Sammy Guevara. But according to Fightful, the match originally was supposed to be a 2-on-2 tag bout. The card apparently was changed from the original match, Matt Hardy and Andrade El Idolo vs Sting and Darby Allin, to add in Sammy Guevara and Isaiah Cassidy into the mix. The report says there was no clear reason as to why the men were added at the last moment. Corey Graves teases familiar face returning for WrestleMania 38. With WWE WrestleMania 38 happening on Saturday, April 2nd and Sunday, April 3rd in Dallas, the capacity is expected to reach over 100,000 each night. With that large of a crowd, it's being reported that WWE has been pulling out all the stops to try and sell out the show, including contacting WWE Hall of Famer Stone Cold Steve Austin for a potential return for the first time in 19 years to face Kevin Owens. The former WWE Universal Champion added fuel to that fire by chirping Texas on social media and on this past Monday's WWE Raw. To add even more to the potential of a return at WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes announced his departure from AEW and was referenced by several WWE superstars, including Edge and The Miz, on this past Monday's Raw. Although the son of Dusty didn't appear at the prior weekend's Elimination Chamber event in Saudi Arabia, Rhodes was in fact scheduled to travel to the WWE Performance Center to film footage for his return. With those two big names potentially on their way back to WWE, Corey Graves teased, quote, a familiar face returning to WWE between now and WrestleMania 38 during the latest episode of the WWE After the Bell podcast. The Raw announcer added that it's a situation where only those who know, and that he's adding more gas to the fire on a potential big-time return. Quote, and who knows, if the rumors do in fact prove to be true, we may have another familiar face back in the fold between now and the showcase of the Immortals, Corey Graves said. This is one of those where, if you know, you know. I'm not going to speak to it any longer. I'm going to feed the rumor mill. That's what I'm doing. I'm feeding the rumor mill. I'm stoking the flames and I'm pouring gas on the fire. If the rumors are true, I couldn't be more thrilled. So what are your thoughts on today's Wrestling News Roundup? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to like and subscribe to Wrestling Inc. and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.